I was the second child of a stay-at-home mom and an accountant dad. We were a middle-class South Indian Brahmin family, which means we didn't have much money, but we were rich in love and family life and a premium on education. We lived in a joint family with my grandparents, and my paternal grandfather was a major force in our life. In the Indian culture, the oldest person gets to call the shots. You came back from school at 4 o'clock, and then you sat at his feet and did your homework. He supervised everything we did. My grandfather has always said to me, if you're going to do something, do it well or don't do it at all. There was a time when both grandfathers were living in the same house with us, and they'd wake up at 5 in the morning and wake me up because they'd claim that their eyesight wasn't very good and I had to read them the newspaper. Later on, I asked my grandpa, why do you make me read these newspapers to you? You can read it yourself. Your eyesight is fine. You know, with a chuckle, he'd say he wanted me to get into the habit of reading newspapers. My mother was a very strong person in my life. When she was growing up, girls got married quite young. She was married when she was 18 to my dad. And so she always had this deep longing in her. She wanted to go to college. She wanted to be somebody. But since she couldn't, she wanted to live her life vicariously through her daughters. So on the one hand, she'd tell us, you can be anything you want, dream big, you know. At the same time, she'd tell us, the day you reach 18, I'm going to get you married off. Growing up in Madras in those days, dreams were confined to what you're going to do the next year or the next 2 years. I'd never, ever in my life dreamed about crossing the oceans, coming to the United States. When my sister got into the business school and left home, they were livid. I mean, my mother said she was going to fast until death. And she started fasting the first 2 days. She was on a fast, and us girls were terrified that something would happen to her. 2 days later, my mom broke the fast. I came to Yale to go to graduate school. The rest is history, as they say. And then in '94, I came to PepsiCo. Success today is based on short-term things. But I think real success is something that's lasting. It's always been that motivation in terms of how can you leave a broad footprint based on the work you're doing, so that people will talk about the legacy of your work as opposed to the person behind the work.
Horatio Alger Association member Indra K. Nooyi.